What's good, everyone? This is Emerald Knight Leon back with a bit of a different kind of video. Uh, today, I'm a little late to my own party, essentially. If you have seen my All Force video, I do make a comment about that. A few weeks ago, actually, in the middle of February, was my 1 year anniversary. And I felt that I should make a video on that, but I wanted to also be a bit of an update as well. And kind of both looking to the future and reflecting on, what I've done the last year. So, what have what have I done? We've covered a lot of decks. Uh, we've covered started in tail end of EX1. I believe it was a week or two before PT7, and I just had so many ideas. For people who don't know, I have ADHD, and that was one of the driving forces that led me to make a channel. I have too many ideas, and it got to a point where I had so many ideas that I wanted somewhere or to that I could throw it, into the void. And this kind of led me to really following an old dream I had when I was in high school, of all things, which was making a channel. But I didn't want it to be a gaming channel, or I didn't want it to be an anime channel. I didn't know what I wanted at the time. But going into February that month, for that last 2 weeks of February, we had 9 videos. And then March, April, we went from BT7's Tribal Kabuterimon, as well as EX1 Placio Hexablau Azulongmon, to D Brigade Zwart. We went to a lot of different decks, and that was my ideas at the time. I wanted to cover so much. And going into May, June, there was a bit of a dry spell. I felt my first case of burnout really around March, April, May. And June was a bit of a slow month because I was out of town a lot. Going into July and August and October, I was starting to pick up pace again, here and there. But it wasn't until November that I really hit my stride again and basically pumped out as much or more content than I did in February. We had gotten into BT10. I was going over Cross Hearts, both casual and competitive versions, Pulsemon, Jessmon, Justimon, Sakuya, Bagra, Gallantmon, and D-Brigade going into EX3. And then I kind of hit another dry spell again in December. Started to try to get back in on January, but I kind of came to the conclusion I might as well wait until we get BT11, because at that point I felt EX3 has run its course. No one really wants to talk about it at that point. And then we get into March, and I'm slowly picking up the pace again. That is my plan. But I want to talk about some of, what I've learned over the year. Starting off in February, I was definitely learning a lot. I was also pumping out a lot of content daily. There were certain times where I was pumping out 3 videos a day because I recorded 3 videos that day. And it got to a point where one of the places I was posting my videos, Reddit, on the Digimon TCG, they kind of banned me for a little bit because they were like, you're pumping out too much content and not telling us anything. Please stop. And I kind of realized I gotta be more careful. I created my own Twitter account that I post my content on. Just post my content. I might try to get more active on there. I don't really feel like going into Twitter cesspool, though. I was posting on Facebook, and, if I found a Discord server, I was posting there. Going that same month, I actually started trying out tournament content. I got myself a tripod. I was using my phone. I still am using a phone. But after a while, that kind of stopped. And at the time, I knew that it was because I wasn't feeling satisfied with the videos. But I didn't really know how I could really improve them at the time. It wasn't until December of last year that I kind of figured it out. But I'll talk about that later. Going into March, we were doing more experimental stuff. I was testing out streaming on Twitch, doing Discord matches, trying to get the hang of certain decks. This was during BT7. I was trying to get used to Purple Hybrid. In other decks, this was when Blue Hybrid was at its top condition with Tommy. But at the same time, I was also trying streaming. Cyber Sleuth. Sorry about that. And there were a few problems with both of these. With Cyber Sleuth, I was able to get 2 episodes out. And then I tried doing a 2-hour video for Cyber Sleuth for my episode 3. Because I was really in a groove at that time. And I recorded it. And then my computer crashed. And I was able to recover the computer. Problem was the footage was corrupted. I could not recover it. And from that point, it felt tainted. Like, I could make an episode, but you're going to have to be, like, dealing with the fact that, hey, I ended episode 2 with champions. I'm at mega level now. And there's a bunch of stuff that I talked about that I can't really talk about again because I don't remember. Because my whole style is I don't script. I speak from the heart. So that kind of, like, I came to the conclusion that if I did return to that, I would just either make a new save and try to regain where I was at the end of episode 2. And then go from there, or just start a new game and stream that, or record that, really. And then streaming kind of fell through. It was actually the cause of my burnout at that point. And it was because I was trying to make a schedule. And the problem was my schedule was tournament on one day. The next day, stream. Tournament on another day. Day after. Stream the day after. Tournament. Stream. Tournament. Stream. Tournament. Stream. And I was able to get through for like 3 or 4 weeks. And then I hit the burnout. And that's why content kind of grinded to a halt for a bit. April, though, I was starting to feel my groove get back. And that was where I felt my first big video was. Which was my store and tournament video. At the time, we didn't have TCG Plus. We all remember the good days where we didn't have to worry about a buggy TCG Plus. Well, I am a traveler. I go from San Diego, Murrieta, Temecula, Riverside, Corona, LA, Anaheim. I've been as far as Santa Clarita. I've been to a lot of different stores because I enjoy seeing the metas of each store and each area. They are all slightly different in every way. And I kind of, like, you could say I'm a vagabond. You could say I'm a traveling warrior, you know? You could say I'm Rio, just wandering the digital world. But I compiled a list of every store I went to. I then got what days and what times their tournaments were. I got, what, like, where you can find them, what their phone number was, what their fees were for registering, and I just compiled them on a Google map and I made a video on that, and it was a big video for me. And it was around that time I actually got talking to some other content creators. Shout out to Digivoid Gaming, Yeezel. And I started getting more involved in the community, really. It was around this time, though, late April, me, he's another guy, friend of ours. We were talking, and at the time, we were trying to. They mentioned that they were thinking about getting a Discord server for San Diego, and I'm like, I have a shell server that I was going to use for my channel. We can use that, but I kind of wanted to market it for all of Southern California, because I travel everywhere and I want to share, this kind of resource with everybody. And so we got it. We originally SoCal Digimon, and then we had to change the name because we realized there was another SoCal Digimon Discord server. So we became the SoCal Digimon Tamer Association. Uh, and it's been an extra place where, since then we are almost at 100 people on our server. 98 now. I don't count myself because twice because I have two accounts. But it's definitely been something that I am proud of. Going into June, we had another dry spell, mainly not because of burnout, thankfully, because I was out of town. The start of June, I was in Hawaii for family birthdays and all that. And then in late June, I actually went to Philadelphia. And it was the first time I actually went out to another state for a regional. And I was able to meet a lot of people. I was able to meet Max DePera. I was able to meet other content creators. And I still remember at the time, I was about maybe 45 subscribers, I think. But it kind of, like, hearing them tell me, that's really good since you started just recently, that kind of made it real for me. And I really was proud of myself, because I feel like I put in the work. I want to put in the work. I try to get better to make better content. And if it felt I was feeling vindicated at that point. I didn't do the best at the tournament. That was when Imperial was at its peak. I still remember round 1 Imperial Dramon. Round 2 was a Imperial Dramon. Round 3 I hit a blue hybrid deck, a blue hybrid Gabubond. Round 4 Imperial. Round 5 and 6 Black War. And round 7 was Imperial. And I only won 3 of those matches. Yeah. I won against the Black Wars. I won against one of the Imperials. But yikes. I feel like I am forgetting another match that I had, but like 5 Imperial matches essentially is what I had, and a Gabubond. And I only won one of the Imperials. In my defense, I was using a deck I had never practiced, Beelzemon. And it was during that month that, the 2 videos I got up, I was actually in Philadelphia during that, when I made those. But at the end, I got 130th. Would I have liked to get 128th? Yeah, sure, but oh well. Going into July, though, I actually started doing unboxing content, and I still want to do that. It's just, God, you would have seen an unboxing video for BT11 if not for the fact that there was a lot of technical issues. And it got to a point where I just was not satisfied with the end result whatsoever. Especially because at a certain point I got tilted enough that I just felt that it wasn't worth putting it up. But no, unboxing I started doing. It was around, let's see, August was, we had content in August. There wasn't really much going on in August outside of content. It wasn't until September, though, I didn't do any decks that month because I was going through a bit of a training arc. I got a D Brigade deck I refined it to the best that I could, and I did so many tourneys that I had to make another TCG Plus account just to do more tourneys, because I maxed out in September on my main. And because of that, I was working my ass off, trying to get as good as I could, doing every single matchup that I could possibly do with D Brigade, uh, for the San Diego Regional. And God, was that a day and a half for me. It was rough. I had no sleep. I was downing Pepsi after Pepsi from the food stand, overpriced too. Just like in between every single round, I had another bottle of Pepsi, and I was downing it every single one. And I did the best that I could, given my circumstances. I lost my first round, and then I lost my last round, or my second to last round. And that second to last round loss got me out of top 16. And oh, that hurt me. That really hurt. But I got 23rd. And, you know, if that isn't dedication, I don't know what is. I'm still proud of that. It was also during September that I actually was starting to tinker with an idea of making learning content, going over mechanics, and I decided to test it out with Digicrossing, and it's something I'm still planning on doing, and I'll talk about it in a bit. November, we had a huge amount of content. Nothing else really went on. Store championships were going on, actually. Kind of surprised I didn't burn out until the end of November, and that kind of led into December, where I was feeling like shit. Pardon my mouth. I was not doing well. I got sick after my last store championship, and at the time I was just going content, store championship, content, store championship, and it was just at a point where that last store championship took so much out of me. The entire of December, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do tournaments. I couldn't do content. I hit that limit again, and I hated it. I tried getting back in on January with Bloomlord, but at that point, I kind of realized the time for EX3 had passed. I didn't feel like if I made deck analysis videos for EX3, they wouldn't. No one wants to hear about it because everybody's kind of figured it out. And so I decided, okay, we're gonna wait till BT11. And BT11 hits, and I got some videos out during that time. My issue was I needed to test them out, and nationals were happening as well. So it kind of was a slow bit for a month. And then we get to now, March. So I've learned a lot, okay? If you go back to my first videos, there isn't even a title on my thumbnail. I think. I don't remember. Fact of the matter, my thumbnails were lazy. I only grabbed images from the anime or video game that I could find. I did meticulous research, though, on making sure that none of it was made by any artists as fan art. I didn't want to get into that issue. But as I kept making more content, I started trying to improve things. I was improving my thumbnails. I was adding text to them. And at a certain point, I actually started making some custom thumbnails through multiple images as of now. But I'm constantly trying to learn. I am trying to constantly learn more so I can make better content, you know? Uh, Going into kind of, content. When I talked about tournament content, I kind of realized in December the thing that I felt was missing was commentary. Because if you go back to those videos, and they did fairly well in terms of views, uh, there's always background noise everywhere. And I realized I want to explain my thoughts on these matches, Why do I choose the moves I do? What was going through my mind? How was I reacting to, what my opponent was doing? And also kind of get rid of that background noise, especially because some places I realized I couldn't record because they were having music playing in the background, and some of that was I figured was copyrighted. And I didn't want to get into that issue. But I now have an editing software. I'm trying to learn how to do this. Hopefully, I can get more tournament content in the future and actually start making commentary videos from those matches. Streaming and gaming, those are up in the air still. I don't know if I'll go back to it. If I do, uh, streaming is more reasonably likely to go back, maybe, than gaming. If I do go back streaming, it's not going to be like a strict schedule. I will just do it if I feel like it, really, kind of thing. Because the scheduling was what burned me out. Uh, Onto the education bit. If I do continue with this coming thing, which is what I'm gonna call digi education. Tutorial videos, going over mechanics of the game. I want to make that kind of thing. I want to try to help new players, learn how to do this, and I want to do it in more of a bite-sized video kind of thing. Like every video is its own little like video on a specific mechanic. They would be shorter videos, and hopefully the algorithm would be more favoring towards them. Uh, Digimon news, uh, just news about certain events, certain, what happens if we get a delay, erratas, so on and so forth. That's going to continue. Non TCG projects. I've mentioned in the past I had a project that I was wanting to do about Digimon Survive. And the whole premise of that was Survive is a baby version of Shin Megami Tensei. And I wanted to talk about that. But I kind of just started getting writer's block on that because it was the first video I was trying to actually make a script for, and I'm not really good at that. Is that coming back? I don't know. I don't know if I'll finish it. I still have the files, so that's good. Honestly speaking, I haven't touched Survive since I started making that, because I kind of didn't want to make spoilers. But at this point, if I do go back to making this project, I will complete Survive so I can talk more in depth about it. So, yeah. Deck videos, analysis, those are continuing. They'll always continue. That's kind of my thing. That's my shtick. Tournament content, I'm going to try to learn so I can make commentary videos. Streaming, gaming, still up in the air. Digi education, that is coming. I don't know when. Maybe later this month, maybe next month. It's a work in progress. Digimon news still continuing. In fact, there will be a Digimon news video that is coming up in just a bit. Considering we did get some news recently. But that is it. I want to thank everybody, actually. I really want to thank everybody. It's been a year, a little over a year now. I'm at 76 subscribers. When I made this channel, I did not really think it would go off. I just made it because I wanted to make content. I wanted to follow an old dream, and I was in a rut finding a job. And I still am in a rut finding a job, but I tackle this with the fervor of a job. I try to make the best content that I can. And I appreciate everybody for who watches, who listens. I know there's a lot of people who watch my content who aren't subscribed, and if you want to subscribe, that's fine. If you don't and you just want to keep watching, awesome. Uh, but I really do appreciate everything that, you know, people gave me a chance to prove that I can make content. And I like to think that I like to think that I took on that challenge and forged a path for myself in that. And I hope people continue to watch and listen to my videos for the foreseeable future as long as Digimon is a thing. So I normally would say leave a like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you think about it in the comments. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to say this is Emerald Knight Leon. And thank you for giving me this chance. Peace.